Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are wading into waters that I think a lot of people find, well, let's just say, a little infested.
Ah.
We are talking about the shark in the water of English grammar, the present perfect tense.
It does have a reputation, doesn't it?
It really does.
It's probably the number one thing that makes learners, and honestly, even some native speakers, sweat a little bit.
It's the name, I think. Present perfect. It sounds so high stakes. Like you had to be absolutely flawless just to open your mouth. It feels kind of judgmental.
It sounds incredibly lofty. But if you look at the research we're diving into today, specifically the breakdown by Emma and Jake called Present Perfect Made Simple, you realize the name is a bit of a misnomer.
Right.
Or at least it scares people away from what is actually a really useful tool.
Exactly. And that is our mission today. We are not doing a remedial grammar class here. We want to hand you the keys to the logic behind this thing. We want to explore the psychology of why English speakers use it. Because once you understand the why, the rules stop feeling like random hurdles and start feeling like communication tools.
Right. We need to move away from just memorizing tables and talk about how we view time. Because that's really what the present perfect is. It's a philosophy of time.
I love that, a philosophy of time. So, looking at our source material, let's start with the absolute core concept, the bridge.
The bridge is the essential visual. If you take nothing else away from this deep dive, take this. The present perfect is the link between before now and now.
It connects the past to the present.
Exactly.
Which sounds simple, but I feel like that's where the confusion starts. Because we have a past simple tense, we have a present tense.
Well,
why do we need this weird hybrid in the middle?
Because sometimes the timing of an event, well, it doesn't matter as much as the result of the event. The source material uses the lost keys analogy, which I think is brilliant.
Okay, let's unpack that. I've definitely been in this situation.
So imagine you're standing at your front door. You pat your pockets, empty. Panic sets in. You turn to your roommate and say, "I have lost my keys."
Right. And in that moment, I'm not telling them a story about history. I'm not reminiscing. I'm telling them about my current reality, which is I am locked out.
Precisely. "I have lost my keys" is a status update. The action happened in the past, maybe 5 minutes ago, maybe an hour ago, but the result is slapping you in the face right now.
And if you compare that to the past simple, I lost my keys.
If you say, "I lost my keys," you're sounding like a police report. "I lost my keys and then I found them," or "I lost my keys yesterday." It disconnects the event from the present moment.
It puts it in a box labeled finished.
It does.
So present perfect is an open box, and past simple is a closed box.
That is a perfect way to visualize it.
Okay, so we have the philosophy. It's a bridge. It's a status update. Now we have to eat our vegetables and talk about the mechanics. How do we actually build this bridge?
The formula is actually surprisingly clean. It's just two parts. You need your auxiliary verb and you need your participle.
The auxiliary is the easy part. It's just have or has.
Right. Basic stuff. If you're talking about yourself or you or we or they, you use have, I have, they have.
But if we're talking about he, she, or it, that third person singular we need has.
She has. He has. I think most of our listeners have that down cold.
But then comes the villain of the story.
Ah.
The past participle.
The infamous third form.
This is where English gets mean.
It does get a little chaotic here. I mean, for regular verbs, it's fine. You just add ate, just like the simple past. Work becomes worked. I have worked.
Clean becomes cleaned. She has cleans. Easy.
But then you have the irregulars, the rebels.
Right.
And the source material highlights the big 5 or so that you just have to memorize. There's no real logic. You just have to know them.
Let's run through the big ones from the text just to get them in our ears. Go.
This becomes gone. He is gone. Becomes seen. I have seen that movie. You can't say I have saw.
Ugh, no. That sounds wrong.
It sounds painful.
Yeah. What about do?
Done. We have done our homework.
Eat.
Eaten. They've eaten lunch.
And
Written. She's written an email. It's non-negotiable. If you use the wrong participle, the bridge collapses.
Okay, so mechanics aside, we've got have, has plus participle. Now let's get into the nuance. The source material breaks down 3 specific vibes or use cases for this tense.
Let's do it.
Use case number 1, life experience. I call this the resume builder.
Or the bucket list.
Yeah.
This is when you want to talk about things you've done, but the date is completely irrelevant.
Right.
You're just claiming the experience as part of who you are now.
Like, I have visited Spain.
Exactly. It doesn't matter if you went in 1995 or last week. The point is, you know what Spain is like. You have that experience stored in your brain.
And this is where we see two heavy-hitting adverbs come into play.
That's
Ever and never.
These are crucial for the life experience vibe. Have you ever been to London?
When we use ever, we are basically scanning your entire timeline, from the moment you were born until right now.
Correct. At any point in your history, and never is the flip side. I have never eaten sushi.
0 times. Empty bucket.
Right. And notice the placement there. It sits right between have and the verb I have never eaten.
Got it. Okay, use case number 2. This brings us back to the lost keys panic. Recent finished actions with a present result.
This is the breaking news function. The action is finished, it's over, but the smoke is still clearing. The consequences are active.
The source gives the example. She has broken her leg.
Ouch. But yes, the breaking happened in the past. But if I say she has broken her leg, what am I really telling you?
You're telling me she can't walk. You're telling me she's in a cast right now.
Exactly. Or they have cleaned the house. We aren't celebrating the act of scrubbing floors. We are celebrating that the house is clean now.
It's interesting because it shifts the spotlight from the action itself to the aftermath.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It's result-oriented grammar.
Now let's go to use case 3. This is the one that causes the most headaches, I think. Actions that started in the past and continue to now. The unfinished business.
Yes. The relationship status, tense. And this is where we have to have a serious talk about for and since.
Oh, the battle of for versus since. I feel like I hear these swapped incorrectly all the time.
Constantly. But the distinction is actually very logical if you just visualize it.
Okay, break it down for us.
You use flowing for when you're measuring a volume of time, a duration. Think of it like a container you're filling up. 2 hours, 6 months, 10 years.
I have lived in this city for 5 years. I'm counting the years, measuring that block of time.
Precisely. Now contrast that with since. You use since when you drop a pin on the timeline. You're pointing to a specific starting point.
Monday, 2020, last year, since I was a child.
Right. You weren't counting the duration. You're just pointing to when it all began. So she's worked at that company since 2019.
And here's why this is so important, right? Because if you say she has worked there since 2019, it means she's still working there.
Correct. The bridge is still standing. The action is unfinished.
If she quit.
Then the bridge is broken. You have to use past simple. She worked there for 3 years. The end.
That's a huge difference in meaning. I have been married for 10 years, means I'm happy and celebrating an anniversary.
Right.
I was married for 10 years, means I'm likely divorced.
See, grammar saves relationships, or at least avoids very awkward misunderstandings.
So we've got experienced results and continuing action. But we need to accessorize our sentences. The source highlights a toolkit of adverbs that act like little signal flares. We already mentioned ever and never. But let's talk about just, already, and yet.
These are vital for adding nuance. Let's look at just.
I have just eaten lunch.
Just implies a very short time ago. It emphasizes that recency. I have just arrived. It means I'm still taking my coat off.
And usually that sits right in the middle. I have just eaten.
Correct. Then we have already. We have already seen that film.
This one feels like it's about efficiency or dismissing the need to do something again.
It implies completion, and often it implies something happened earlier than you expected, like, wow, you've already finished.
And finally, the negative anchor. Yet.
Yet is fascinating because it's almost optimistic. He hasn't finished his work yet.
It implies there's an expectation, right?
Yes. It means we know he is going to finish. He just hasn't done it up to this exact second. We use it in negatives and in questions. Have you finished yet?
No, not yet. And yet likes to sit at the end of the sentence.
Almost always at the end. It's like the final word on the thought for now.
Before we get to the big showdown, let's quickly cover questions and negatives.
Sure. It's the standard English inversion. You just swap the subject and the auxiliary. So you have eaten becomes...
Have you eaten?
Exactly. She has visited becomes has she visited. Simple enough.
And for negatives, we just add not. But, and the source is clear on this, we almost always use contractions in speech. I have not. Sounds like a robot.
It really does. We say I haven't, she hasn't, they haven't. It just flows so much better.
Okay. We have the formation, we have the uses, we have the adverbs. Now, it's time for the conflict. The showdown. Present perfect versus past simple.
This is where 90% of the mistakes happen. This is the danger zone.
The source material gives us a rule of time. Can you break that down?
It's a binary choice. You have to ask yourself one question. Is the time period finished or is it unfinished?
Give me a finish time.
Yesterday, last week, in 1999, 5 minutes ago.
If I have a finish time, what tense do I use?
You must use past simple. It is illegal to use present perfect with a finished time marker.
So I can't say, I have visited Rome last year.
Absolutely not. That sounds like nails on a chalkboard to a native speaker. Last year is a closed box. It's dead. You can't build a bridge to it. You have to say, I visited Rome last year.
But if I open the box, if I say today or this week,
then you're back in business. I have drunk 3 coffees today. The day isn't over. I might have a 4th. The window is still open.
it seems like learners want to have it both ways. They want the cool experience vibe of present perfect, but they also want to attach a specific date.
And English says, pick one. Do you want to tell me what you did, which is present perfect, or when you did it, which is past simple? You usually can't do both.
This feels like something we need to practice. So I'm going to throw some real-world scenarios at you. Tell me which tense wins.
I'm ready. Let's go to grammar court.
Scenario 1. You're in a job interview. High pressure. They ask if you know how to use Python. You learned it. You know it. You are ready to code right now.
Okay. In this moment, the specific day you learned, it doesn't matter. The result, your skill is what matters. So you use present perfect. I have used Python, or I have learned it.
You're claiming the status.
Exactly.
Nice. But then, scenario 2. The interviewer narrows their eyes and asks when you last used it.
Ugh, a trap question. Now they want a specific finished time, so you have to switch gears. I used it on my last project in 2022. Past simple.
If you said, I have used it in 2022, you'd sound
A little less fluent. It just trips up the listener's ear.
Scenario 3. You're on a date. You want to drop the fact that you've been to Paris.
Your bucket list, no dates needed. I have been to Paris.
But then your date asks, oh, cool. Did you go last summer?
They forced the timeline. Now I have to say no, I went 2 years ago.
Okay, last one. Scenario 4. The homework excuse. Teacher asks for your essay. You finished it 5 minutes ago, and it's on your desk.
The result is key here. You have the essay, so you say, I have finished it, it's ready.
But if you finished it last night,
Then you could say, I finished it last night. Both work, really, but I have finished sounds more like, here it is, ready for you now.
it really is about logic. Once you see the timeline in your head, the grammar kind of fixes itself.
It does. It's not magic, it's just time management.
So let's wrap this up with a quick recap. The formula.
Have or has plus past participle. And watch out for those irregulars.
The 3 vibes.
The resume, which is life experience, the breaking news, which is result now, and the unfinished business, which is your 4 cents.
And the golden rule.
If you put a timestamp on it that's in the past, keep it simple. If the time is open or it's just about the experience, make it perfect.
The source material suggests a little homework, and I think it's actually a great exercise to solidify this whole identity concept we talked about.
I agree. It asks you to write 5 sentences about your life experiences, your bucket list. What have you done? What have you never done?
I have never jumped out of a plane. I have eaten crocodile, that sort of thing.
Exactly. And the second part, write 3 sentences using for or since about things you're still doing. How long have you lived where you live?
I have known my partner since high school. It forces you to connect your past to your present.
And that's really what this is all about. We think of grammar as just a bunch of rules, but the present perfect is actually about biography. It's the sum of who you are up to this very moment.
That is a deep thought to end on. Grammar isn't just a textbook. It's your story.
It really is.
Thanks for diving in with us today. Go write those sentences.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye for now.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. See you next time.